My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Let me see what time it is. Okay, it is almost midnight. So, I have maybe one or two more videos after this, so we're gonna do this video. I'm gonna try to keep these next two videos as short as possible, because I need to go to bed. But, I am a person who is an independent filmmaker, actor, choreographer, fight choreographer, etc. Um, Scriptwriter, director, that kind of thing. I wear multifaceted hats. But most importantly, I'm a martial artist. But more important than that, I am a fan of TV. Like all of you watching, I'm a fan of TV. And nothing kicks me in the ass more than a show that ends with a cop out ass ending. Or an ending that just fucking sucks. You know, those endings that leave you hanging and leave you out there saying, well, what happens to this character? What happens to that character? So I will give you a primetime examples of shows that ended with a great ending, and then I will give you a list of shows that ended horribly, and most of them were probably due to cancellation. All right. So shows that ended with a good ending. Farscape. Hold it. I know you're thinking, but Farscape had a horrible ending. Yes, it did, but they made up for it with the Peacekeeper Wars miniseries, which tied everything together and ended it. And you know that John Crichton, Aaron Soon, and everybody else on the Leviathan made it back deep in space and protected Earth by sealing the damn hole behind them, wiping out most of the Peacekeepers and whatever that race that the main bad guy was mixed with. And sadly, spoiler alert, Dargo dies, which really pissed me off. That's the only thing I had to complain about the whole damn thing is that Dargo fucking dies. Now, that being said, there have been other shows that have had fairly decent endings. You know, New York Undercover had a decent ending. Teen Wolf, I believe, had a decent ending, but I couldn't find it on TV. I only got to see the first season. Buffy the Vampire had a decent ending. Angel had a decent ending, but it was an ending that left more questions than answers. But I think Buffy might have had the same issue. The original Charmed had a very decent ending. You know, all the sisters and all of them that showed like the kids growing up, etc., etc. And that was a decent ending. And I hope the reboot of Charmed comes back, and I hope it's just as badass as the first season, because the first season was tight, and I hope you guys watch it. It also had a decent ending. Now we got let's see, shit. Star Trek Deep Space Nine had a decent ending. Star Trek The Next Generation had a decent ending. Star Trek Enterprise and Voyager, Enterprise ending was a little bit better, but both of them were kind of cop-out endings. Star Trek Voyager's cop-out ending being that they found an express line of wormholes, you know, to shoot them back to whatever quadrant they started in, you know. And I think they ended right back at the main Starfleet base, because I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen Captain Janeway, outside of her being on the Orange is the New Black. Then Enterprise was canceled, so they wrote a ending. They didn't give us a decent ending, but they gave us a fair assessment of an ending. And as you go into other shows that got canceled, like Hardcastle McCormick, I don't remember the ending of that. The ending to The Greatest American Hero, he just passed the torch to a chick, and they probably could have carried that on with another season, but they didn't. And then they rebooted I Need a Job. Street Hawk, it was canceled. It didn't have a good ending, but it had a fair assumption ending. Viper had a fair assumption ending. Airwolf, I believe it was canceled. I didn't get to see the ending of that. Fall Guy, I believe it was canceled. I didn't get to see the ending of that. Fantasy Island, Love Boat, they had fair endings. I don't remember what the hell they were because I was still a child. And some of the things that I named before that, I was still a child, so my memory is not all intact on that. But when it comes to cop-out endings, Star Trek Voyager, Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, because Battlestar Galactica, the original, it had so many different possibilities and realms and the endings that I remember, because in one episode, the son of Starbuck never made it back to the Galactica. But when the next episode aired, Starbuck was back on the Galactica, so I was kind of like, Did that actually happen? And then the show ended, but then they made a miniseries in the mid 80s, like 85 to 86 or 86 to 87, and they solved all the problems. They found Earth, but they didn't stay. They just flew back off into outer space. They stayed on the Galactica and they went off. And these were the kids of Starbuck and the kids of Adama and whatever. So Adama, Starbuck, and the other guy, they never saw Earth, but their children made it to Earth, which just proves that they all kind of died, and the children made it to Earth and continued the mission. The children landed, they had flying bikes, they cured Earth of all diseases or whatever, and then they went back on their bikes and flew back into space, and then you never see them again. So it had a fairly decent ending. Where that reboot, on the other hand, was a total cop-out and a raw screw job as far as I'm concerned. Now, one of my favorite shows that got canceled on the Sci-Fi Channel that should have some kind of TV 2-hour movie, and I'm hoping that they see this video and give Dark Matter a shot, was Dark Matter. They gave you a season, and then when they started the second season, they showed you one episode, and then it was pulled, and it never came back. And then they're basically ending Z Nation. So, like, okay, come on, just give us something. And for Dark Matter, at least make a 2.5-hour Dark Matter movie, or do like you did with Farscape and the Peacekeeper Wars, and end Dark Matter on a good note. Now, as an actor, my biggest fear is being on a show, getting one season, and then having it canceled and never working again. That's my biggest fear, which is why I'm used to being broke right now. I'm used to working dead-end jobs and things like that, because it does happen. It does happen no matter how much of a star you are. If you don't manage your money right, you'll be exactly where I am right now, and that's not cool. So I'm going to make sure to manage my money right. Live in a place where having no money is like having a lot of money. Okay, so that being said, guess I'll move next door. Anyway, the cop-out ending thing, fans deserve more. And so I'm going to end this video with that. No cop-out endings. If I get on a show, we have to have an ending. Whoever's watching, if you're going to give me an acting job, and especially if I'm going to be the star, and it's not my own stuff, we have to have an ending. It can't be no bullshit cop-out ending. It has to be a real ending that will satisfy the fans and the semi-fans and the non-fans, but it has to be a realistic ending that everyone can appreciate and be like, yeah, that ended fairly well. We like that. We kind of really like that ending. And then all the fans will write in and be like, yeah, we really like that ending. Good job. Because the way Xena ended, I didn't like that ending. But I knew why it ended that way. Because Xena made a choice to not come back. Not the actress, but the character had caused so much problems in the world as the evil Xena when she started repenting and stuff. She said the best way to make sure that nothing like this happens again is to not come back. And she had her God-killing thing, and she saved her daughter. And Gabrielle and her daughter and the Asian woman, they got back on the boat and went wherever the hell they were going. And that's how it ended. I think also they may have brought Joxer back to life, but I can't remember. But anyway, that being said, every show should have a decent ending. No cop-outs, no bullshit, no upset the fans, because ratings and people watching us actors is how we keep working, alright? And I need to be working, so if you guys can help me out a little bit, subscribe, share, like the video, that would be great. Thank you guys very much. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Combo Number 2. Be seeing you.